Hello everyone.
Everybody ready? Simon, do you want to start?
You were doing so well in the first half, you were in a good position, and then obviously the penalty changes the game. What's your kind of view of what happened?
Yes, still feels that there was more possible today. Had a great first 30 minutes. I think at the end of the first half we became a little bit too passive when they had a few set plays on the other side. When you have the lead at Old Trafford, there will always be periods where they make pressure. And then the red card changed the game completely. I think it's a very hard decision, penalty and red card, because the foul started outside the box, and usually the foul has to be given where it starts. On the other side, Mateusz Cunha was very smart to wait until he's inside the box and falling then, and the referee decided. And then 1-1, one player less. Having a game 3 days before in the Conference League, and then the crowd is back, and then they are in a good run. And the second goal just happened too quickly. Feels we could have defended it better, because we were in a better position when the cross starts, but then Seško goes into the ball and we are waiting for the ball, and then 2-1 down, and players tried everything until the end. I think we were 4 or 5 times, it felt we were in good positions, but the final pass was not accurate enough for the finish, and that's why we lost at the end. But performance was really absolutely okay over for many parts of the game.
I know you've spoken a lot about the squad and having to deal with everything. Both Manchester United and Spurs last season, in the end, they virtually ignored the Premier League and just concentrated on Europe because they could qualify for the Champions League. You can win another trophy and qualify for another European competition. Is that something that you might have to do, because now you've lost twice to Manchester United after playing the European game and leaving at half time?
No, even if we wanted, we don't have 20 fit on-field players so that we make a complete rotation. I also think it's not the best way, and we always have to make changes. And now is the next day we play at Tottenham, and Maxence Lacroix will be suspended. We always have to make changes in our back three. I usually don't like this, because that's the foundation, and I think that's important for us to get consistency back. We're always playing a great first half, great 60 minutes, but not consistently over the full game, and then the result is not how or what we could get from the results. But right now I think I don't know if Tottenham and Man United started to focus on the Europa League so we are now in the round of last 16. Just makes no sense. Okay, when we play maybe the semi-finals we can think about it, but right now it's too early. We still feel we are in a good position in the Premier League, and we feel even when we lose, it's always very close to get more, and for us and also when I see now right at the end we played with a 21 and a 19-year-old in the defense. I think for them it's important to make this experience in the Premier League, to play, to have game time, to improve and develop as a player, and this is what we will do right until the end.
Well, hello, just on the penalty and the red card again, the VAR reviews just seem to be taking longer and longer. I think it was something like 4 minutes between the foul being awarded and the penalty sort of being taken. It's supposed to be sort of clear and obvious. If they're taking that long to sort of make decisions, does it say to you that some of the stuff is not clear and obvious?
Yeah, I think because I spoke to the fourth official, it's a little bit unfair, because they had to check first, is it offside or not? Then is it a foul or not, or where does it start, and is it a red card or not? So it's 3 or 4 different situations to judge, and this takes time, but it still feels that it was the wrong decision. So it doesn't make it better if it takes long, and it still feels it's the wrong decision. But at the end, we have to accept it.
Do you think do some of your players feel like they might have got across and the player was not the last man, and it was pretty harsh to penalise him.
Yeah, but for me, the penalty, it's not a penalty. Maybe he could have conceded the red card with the foul outside the box. This is what you can discuss. But not if the foul starts outside. We all know this. It's where the foul starts. But it's maybe a little bit the Old Trafford bonus.
Yeah. Have they explained? Have you challenged that? Have they explained why they awarded the penalty when it clearly?
No. They said no. It's confirmed. Penalty is confirmed. Was the first, and they were looking for offside, and they were looking for the red card. And again, I could see it. So my bench said the foul is outside, and the force told me penalty is confirmed. So what should I do?
Okay. Any others? No? Okay. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Well, guys. Hiya. You right? Start with Tyrone.
Hi Michael, how pleased were you with the spirit and the character on show in that game? Because it felt at half time like you were really up against it, and it felt like you showed a lot of character.
Yeah, it's the biggest thing for us, I think, to take from the game. Really, is probably the first time that we've been in that situation going in at half time. But I thought we were a little bit off to start with. I thought they started particularly well, so credit to them for that. And then probably after 20 minutes or so, I thought the game started turning in our favour, and we finished the half stronger, and it felt like looked a little bit like what we were trying to do. And then spoke at half time really about being in that position and how we react, and showing that personality and the belief. And football's tough at times, and this league's tough, so you're never always going to have it your own way. But to then come back like we did second half and turn the game on in our favour is the biggest thing for me to take from today, for sure. Sorry?
Hi Michael. I think jogging down the tunnel just when the half-time whistle went, was there anything in particular that you wanted to address with the players?
It's always something. It's always something. No, it was just a couple of little tweaks in shape, maybe a couple of ideas. Some things we tried from the start that we wanted to kind of tweak a little bit, but honestly, it wasn't major really, and I'm not taking much credit for that. I think the boys showed as the first half progressed that it was on its way to being better. It was more, as I said, that you got to find a way in games sometimes. There's a few ideas that we wanted to make more runs. We wanted to be a little bit more aggressive in attacking their backline to a point, which is something you always try to do. But I thought we did it better second half, and ended up getting the penalty from that. So it was more the how do we react, and it's been going in our favour. I said to them, it's something I've been waiting for, this moment, to see, go on then, what we're going to do about it and be positive, and the boys responded ever so well. So it was a big thing for us.
So, Michael, six wins from 7 and a draw up to third. I don't think anybody really expected that when you took over. When you're walking around the stadium and the fans are singing your name, what does that feel like?
Yeah, it's nice. Obviously, this place means a lot to me. So to have so much positivity and everyone enjoying coming to the games and watching it, and me to obviously have an influence on that is, yeah, I'm not going to lie. Yeah, of course it feels good. I think the players have got to take a lot of credit as well for that in terms of what they put on the pitch. So it's certainly not all me, but I think that connection with the supporters is huge, and to feel that and for them to stay with us, and even when there was a bit of a story start to get through the game and finish like that it means a lot. Yeah.
Dan and then Rob.
Michael, I know we've asked you a lot about Edwin Sheshko in the last few weeks, but for him to make an impact from starting off today and starting 11, how pleased are you for him, and how much more confidence do you think that will give him as well?
Yeah, absolutely delighted for Ben. I think I've sat here and said to you for the last few weeks about it's not really been certainly not been a headache. It's not been a big deal. It's not been a big drama. I think he's he's had a huge impact, Ben, and he's making big improvements, and a little bit is getting used to what it's like to be here and the feelings and what it means to play and things that we can take for granted at times. And he's desperate to do well. He works so hard. He thinks about it an awful lot. It's an absolute pleasure to work with. And today, yeah, he started and had it. It was a fantastic goal. Fantastic goal. So he's bringing an awful lot. We've got good flexibility across the top line, you know, and the front players can play different roles within the game. So there's a lot of flexibility there. And Ahmad took some time out today, and it might change again for Wednesday. But it's nice to have them options really.
Just on Ben again. Obviously, his record the first half of the season is completely different for his record in the last few weeks. And I know you can't comment on what's gone before, but how much of his revival is down to giving him a bit of self-belief? How much is down to you sort of playing to his strength and maybe creating chances where his attributes can be useful?
Yeah, maybe a bit of both. I think something obviously working closely with him and connecting with him, building that relationship and that trust. I think that's important when you're trying to help players individually and certainly as a team. And lots on Ben, you know. He's put the work in, and he stayed positive. He knows how he wants to improve. He's pretty clear on that, but he's a good player, you know. That's why he's here. He's a good player, and he's got some great strengths. And I think they're, you know, coming and being clear to see he's scoring different types of goals. But he's such a real threat, and so yeah, really excited about where he can get to without getting too carried away. You know, I think he's got huge potential. He's so young and still early days for him, but he's doing fantastic at the moment.
Carl and then James.
Thanks, Carrick. During a pause earlier in the game, you were speaking to Cunha on the sideline. Just want to know what you made of his performance today. It didn't seem to be getting onto the ball in the same way he did when you had more like Dorgu and Shaw and Martinez and more left footers in the team.
Just getting the balance really about when to play inside a little bit, when to play outside a little bit, when to make runs in behind. Just again, Mateus, he thinks a lot about the game. You know, he's really good in terms of wanting to know certain things, and it was just one of them. It was probably because he was the closest one to me, so we ended up having a conversation. But he's conscious of where the space is in trying to attack certain spaces. You know, sometimes it's wide. I thought, particularly second half, at times he looked dangerous wide, going 1v1, which is something he can do, and then he's inside the pitch a little bit more to create the moment for the penalty. So. Yeah, nothing major, just little bits of information here and there.
James?
Michael, obviously the club is synonymous with goals, and not just goals, often like great goals. Does it? You obviously want to win and score primarily, but does it matter to you that some of the goals that you're scoring are so good? I mean, the winner today, obviously you've seen the series of goals that you've scored previously. Does that matter? It's
nice to score good goals, you know. We all come to games to see goals at the end of the day and see that excitement and see that that level of entertainment, really, if we're honest, you know, from top players. So I think we all know what the boys are capable of. It's definitely not getting carried away, so I don't think that's, you know, we've got all the answers just yet, but certainly knowing that the boys have got big moments in them in different ways, whether that's through balls, whether that's a little bit of combination play, whether that's 1v1, whether that's headers. We do feel we've got a good balance to that, but that's certainly not thinking that everything's just going to be all right on the back of it. But it's really positive to see in the goals. There's going to be games when it might not quite happen, you know, and it doesn't mean it's a disaster. You know, the 2 away games, it was a little bit harder to come by, but that's football, and you know, to put the run together that we've had to do it in different ways. So that's what's more encouragement for me, really, is how we've ended up doing it in different ways, and yeah, something to look forward to, really, to build on.